Now, as we all know, there are many disabilities out there: autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, and many of these disabilities also affect your learning disabilities, and this is really hard, especially for children. Now, you should listen to me because as parents and future parents, your child may or may not develop these disabilities, and either way, you'll want to know how to prepare them for the Common Core. Now, according to Diane Hager and Brenda Overturf from Reading Teacher 2012, the Common Core state standards include rigorous content, which needs application of high-level order skills. And also according to Brenda Overturf and Sharon Vaughn from Learning Disabilities Research and Practice 2013, there has luckily been some focus on improving the instructions on the reading and the math parts. And as we all know, children with LD struggle with all the meticulous assignments. Now, in this speech, I will inform you about how students with learning disabilities prepare for the Common Core, and these students are in grades K through 5. First, I'll be talking about how average students prepare for the Common Core. Second, I'll teach you about how students with LD prepare for the English language part. And third, I'll teach you about how students prepare for the math part. So we start with the average K through 5 students. Now, when students enter a classroom, they have to know some sort of knowledge, learn how to count, knowing some words and grammar. And this helps the teacher know what a student knows when they enter the classroom and what they should know, what they should learn when they leave the classroom. Now, the Common Core is divided into two general categories. One of them is English language arts, and the second one is math. Now, each grade addresses different tasks to help prepare these students, such as in kindergarten, a teacher will ask and answer questions about key detail in a text with support, like pictures and using the big letters in a book. And in first grade, the teacher will ask and answer questions about key detail in a text without the support. In second grade, the teacher could ask and answer questions about who, what, when, where, why, and how to demonstrate the key detail. In third grade, a teacher will demonstrate about what a textbook is used for, which, as we know, is a basis for the answers. And in fourth grade, they will use more examples and more detail throughout the text. Now we go on to talking about how students with LD prepare for the English language part. And according to the Common Core state standards through grades K through 5, the document is used to help students read through a wide range of texts throughout each grade. And they have, as we know, they have a really hard time keeping up and learning grammar and how to spell words. And one way for them to learn is by learning how to read aloud. And this helps them develop an appreciation for literature, vocabulary, and respond to text. And one way for them to learn is by the teacher having a page from a book up on the overhead, and I have used the Ugly Duckling as an example. And they will give the student a long pointer stick, and they'll have the student point to each word as they go. And after they're done reading that sentence, the teacher will have them go back and look at one word at a time and focus on how many letters are in the word and what those letters are, and to get better understanding of the meaning. Okay. Now, Now we go on to how they prepare for, excuse me. According to Steve Graham and Karen R. Harris from Learning Disabilities Research and Practice 2013, students with LD have, of course, much to learn for grade 5 for the English language arts, and this includes learning how to take notes, cite sources properly, get information through the internet, and summarizing sentences into smaller sentences. And unfortunately, many teachers do have a hard time teaching students writing and such because many students are put into regular classrooms with other students who don't have disabilities. So it's really hard for the student to keep up, and it's really hard for the teacher to slow down for that one or two students. Now third, we go on to learning how students with LD prepare for the math part. And in the Common Core focuses on 2 categories for the math part, and it's geometry and measurement. Now for measurement and data domain, they focus on measuring length and width and solving problems with elapsed time and stories. And in geometry, this focuses on knowing shapes and measuring angles and such. And one of the ways for them to learn this is by having explicit instruction, typically by a step-by-step instructor, and teacher-guided methods for them to know step-by-step procedures. And in one research there were a group of instructors who did small groups in a classroom, put students in small groups, and taught them each for 15 minutes about 3 to 4 times a week for 18 weeks. Basically learning numeral concepts and addition and subtraction, combinations. And this practice actually did help students up their grades, but it still wasn't high as the average students. And there was also another group of students who learned math through the computer on some sort of program on the computer, and they learned about the same time, about 3 to 4 times a week for 18 weeks. And according to Sarah R. Powell and Lynn S. Fuchs and Dan Fuchs from Reaching the Mountaintop 2015, the students who used this computer program demonstrated higher knowledge of numeral values and addition and subtraction than students with LD who did not use this program. Now, I have told you about how students with learning disabilities can prepare for the Common Core in grades K through 5. I taught you about how the average student prepares, and then I taught you about the reading and the math part, and I hope you learned from my speech.